Hey YouTube, coming at you with my best Mountain Cup team, one that got me to about 2600 ELO is where I am shooting this Sunday night. And it is Skarmory, Celio, and Shadow Lapras. And so how this came to be was I've used Shadow Lapras and one sort of my best team from yesterday, and I used Skarmory in a weekend team. And I was pairing these two, and I'm like, I think I can make this work. And one of my subscribers mentioned that he is using Skarmory Celio. And I'm just like, Celio, like everyone loves Lapras because it's so strong. Why not just basically use two Laprases in this meta? And it worked so well. I definitely ran like 200, 300 ELO with this team. And it's basically your double weak to fight on the back. You come in Celio as a safe swap immediately because Water Gun does way better against Escav. You can like spam the body slams too, and then Skarmory will wall that, and then Lapras roams free in the back. So super strong team, super bulk in the back, and let's look at it in action. So Whiscash here, this is a pretty good lead. Again, I don't need to leave right away, but you definitely do need to leave. I think I may try. I was going to say I may try and catch a Blizzard. Or I'm gonna have to maybe shield. Yeah, I expected a Blizzard. Eventually, I will need to get out here unless they get out. So they get out into a Skarmory of their own. So I'm going to come with my Skarmory, or my Lapras. I assume they're going to throw Brave Bird. There's no reason for them not to. I can live a Brave Bird, though, with Lapras, because it's so tanky. And now it's super low that I can just go straight Surf here, because they're now lowered their defense, so this will take them out. So they do shield. But at this point, I'm like, okay, this is pretty low. I've got a Skarmory which resists everything. So I can just go Sky Attack here. I'm hoping with the defense fall this is enough, but it may not be enough. Yeah, so it's just short. I expect another Brave Bird, but again, Skarmory on Skarmory, it's not anything you need to worry about here. They have Whiscash in the front, so if they've got me beat in the back, they need to bring it out now. Because Whiscash is not a great matchup, and it's a Frostlass. And this is where it's sort of okay. So I'm going straight Brave Bird. This is kind of dumb. I think I should have just went two Sky Attacks, because Celio with Water Gun does so much chip damage. And this is what I noticed with Celio. So if you haven't used it, it is pretty strong with the Water Gun attack and pretty spammy with the Body Slam. Water Pulse, I was actually like super disappointed. So as you can see, this is a stab Water Pulse to a less than 50% Frostlass, which is a glass already, and it doesn't even take it out. And that's kind of what I noticed with Celio. Like in most situations, I like even Escav against Escav, which resists it, and same with like Mawile. I'm just honestly throwing resisted body slams, because between the Water Guns and the body slams, they do almost just as much as not that do almost just as much, but considering how much more energy Water Pulse is for not being able to take it out in most of these situations, it's kind of disappointing how weak Water Pulse is. So for the most part, I just spam body slams. And we'll take it out here. There will be a lot of battles. Diggersby lead. Again, you can stay in here. I'm probably going to try and catch a Fire Punch. Yep, did not work. You can come Lapras or Celio. I come, it honestly does not matter which one you want to use as a safe swap. I do shield up an Earthquake. I expect an Earthquake here. They come in with their own Lapras. So this is good in the fact that I'm so far ahead on energy. That'll get the Skull Bash off and boost my defense immediately. Because that will mean that I'm essentially in 2 Skull Bash range, right? Because now it's resisted. It's not resisted, but it's not going to do as much, so they can't surf me at this point. And now I can go with my second one. And again, they're going to be able to outpace me, but they need to throw Skull Bash because they cannot throw a surf in this situation. So whatever, they will get to the move. See if they try to just throw Surf, which is not going to be enough. No, they have to throw Skull Bash. That makes sense. Now I can just come in Skarmory. I think I'm just going to throw right away. I really don't want to. Skarmory is kind of rough against Lapras. Like, it does not do well. And look at that. Like, 2 times boosted. 2 times boosted defense there. These Surfs do add up. Like, against the Shadow 2, it's much worse. So, like, obviously. So, pretty rough. And then get back in on the Diggersby. Getting walled to a certain, not walled, no, but it's just so, Diggersby is so tanky that even these Water Guns are not adding up fast enough. And out comes a Frostlass. I'm going straight Water Pulse. You have to in this situation. just because it is double resisted because it is Ghost. So there's really no reason not to throw the Water Pulse here. It's a very risky bait with Body Slam. I actually have done Body Slam. It's not terrible. It's not great. But look at the Water Guns between the, I don't know if this, well, again, Water Pulse not a great move. I don't know if it's going to take out here. But the Water Gun damage is really strong. I come in here trying to snipe. Do get off the Sky Attack. They're going to need to get to 2 Fire Punches to take me out. And it's going to be close. So that's going to go through. Actually, you know what? I don't even think a Fire Punch takes us out from this range. This is what I noticed about Diggersby. It's actually like really not... The Fire Punch is not a great move. It's a nice bait move, but other than that, it's not great. Empoleon. Rough, but not too rough. And and this is what I'm saying, why. Like, look at those Water Guns compared to the Hydro Cannons. Not Hydro Cannons. Compared to the Waterfalls. And you take a Drill Peck with ease. They ended up coming with Whiscash. If you do play that matchup, you win the 1 shield going straight Body Slam. Like, you will get to 3 Body Slams before they get to 3 Drill Pecks, and 3 Body Slams will take them out. So Steel, nice option for, like, that's why I'm not worried about steals too much, because like even Water Gun Body Slam damage is quite a lot. So I use Lapras a bit as a safe swap on the beginning, but for the most part, I just went straight to Celio after that. There is a couple things that causes this team's problems. So the first is a Ferrothorn in the back that is also running Thunder. So if it's like a Power Whip Thunder Ferrothorn, what the problem is, it will get to like 100 energy on Celio. You don't do anything because everything's resisted. You'll maybe get it down to like 50%. And then they will have like a Thunder to throw at your Skarmory. So that's the first one. The second problem with this team is if you run into the double Steel backline of Escav and then Mawile. Because what happens is sometimes they get a shield from Escav, but if Escav wants to throw properly and counter down, they can do that before you take it out. And then, so like you lose lead, you come in with Celio, they beat you with your Escav, and then it's a Shadow Mawile in the back. And the problem is, because Ice Shards are resisted, you need 3+ Surfs to take it out. But if they have shield advantage, or even shields on the 2 shields, they can just Fire Fang and Power Punch and take you out. So those are like my main losses that I saw when I was playing. This Magikarp is not getting out. I assume it's because they want to chip me with the Rock Tomb, lower my defense or attack, and then get out, which makes sense. Out comes the Water Gun Lapras. The Water Gun Lapras matchup in even is, I think the energy, I don't know the exact stats, but the energy generation seems pretty similar. I do get the Skull Bash off. My defense has risen. Problem is, I think a Skull Bash plus then I'm in Surf range is the only problem. Maybe even Farm Down range. Yeah, so I'm just going to chip here. So that's a problem. I know the Magikarp goes on the lead. So at this point, I think the Skarmory is just a sacrifice. There's really no point of shielding anything up when I know the Magikarp is going to come back in, and I know it still has a rock move that can hurt Celio. So yeah, this team is a little rough against like rock type Pokemon because you're double weak to rock in the back, and then you really don't have anything to throw in the front with it. So am loaded with energy. Could throw a Brave Bird, but doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to come straight here. And now we are going to have to play the bait game. I think this is one where I don't think I have an option because I need this to get, I can't have my Skarmory and the Magikarp go. So able to get it once. I'm going to let this, no, I was about to say, I'm going to shield just because I know they're going to outpace me. I was about to say, they're probably going to outpace me to 2 moves here. Which is fine because I'm just going to get a little bit of energy advantage, and I go straight Body Slam because I know it's double resisted, but I want to come out with a bit of energy here. So it doesn't do much, and I get the full Farm Down. So now I can basically come out with a Water Pulse, Rock, and Fire, double super effective. So this should take out. So getting out of a bad lead there. Good lead here. Again, Empoleon. This is probably the matchup where I'm going to play out the one shield here. So take a drill peck, just go straight water gun, body slam, and then you can take it in the one shield just because the water gun damage really adds up. Really adds up. And then you just outpace. So Celio is such a nice, smart option for this thing because everyone's using Lapras. And again, Lapras is great too, but why not just have essentially two Laprases on your team? So that works out very well. As you can see, I'm at 2 body slams right now. So this body slam will take it out from this range. And there's still one short, so I'm going to get the second one. So I'm going to grab switch advantage here. Well, even in the shields. So that is how you play the Empoleon matchup. And then they come in, yeah, Cortana, which is fine. And I have a nice answer. And then, oh yeah, this is just basically a hard counter. Not too much they can do here. I mean, it's not a hard, I mean, Celio versus Empoleon is not a hard counter, but tough lead, tough back here. There's not much they can do overall. Yeah. Is this one of my 5-0s? So I got multiple 5-0s. Yeah, so that's one of my 5-0s. And then I'm going to 5-0 to Veteran too. Berserker. Yeah, Berserker, again, is one of those. I should probably get out of this much quicker. I'm going to Brave Bird here. I stay in here because I'm like, close combat is neutral, force them to throw, dump some energy. Brave Bird is still probably going to take them to like deep red. So they kind of have to shield. And then Celio, I can like burn a shield with Celio if I need to. Yeah, or they let it go. Could be close combat, so I am going to shield. Because even this against Whiscash is probably pretty decent. But now I am worried about a double steal with Shadow Mawile in the back. And if that's the case, this game's going to be a loss. They're going to save 2 shields, knowing that I have the Skarmory in the front, and they're just going to ramp up and go and win this matchup. Is what I'm thinking, just based on the lineup. I find teams are pretty easy to read in this meta, just because the meta is pretty limited. If I was smart, I would have tried to catch on. I should have caught on my Skarmory. Okay, Sudowoodo. Same sort of problem. Same sort of concept. So double counter user. Double weak to fighting. It's the same sort of thing, but it's a little different. But this is just as bad because they're with shield advantage, and it's a rock type Pokemon that knows counter. So probably gonna lose this one anyways. Go straight Meteor Beam because their attack rises, and yeah, being able to counter down is pretty good. I didn't throw because some reason doesn't matter. This game's over. So those are the only sort of like issues with the team. Yeah. But yeah, super strong team. Like I think I was as low as like 2250 at one time on Go Battle Day, and now I'm up to 2600. So this is kind of what happens on this channel, right? I put out some teams. They do okay or well, and then I try a new team, doesn't work. And then I lose ELO, and then I try a new one again, and it works, and then I tried a different one, it doesn't work, and I just kind of sit in the middle, and then eventually I find a strong team, and I run 300 to 400 ELO with this. I've done it with my Halloween Cup team when I ran like 400, 500 ELO. I've done it with my Legend team that I've run a bunch. So that's kind of how it works with me. So this SCAP match is not bad. Like you survive a drill run quite easy here. And at this point, I just have to throw here. There's not much I can do. But you know what? That chip damage is not bad. And now you have a Skarmory on this where they can't really do anything. Lapras comes in. I think I got to take the move and then I'll get out into my own Lapras. Because now this is the race. This is the race to Body Slam, and I think it's very close. I think we like CMP pretty much. Yeah, we basically CMP to the Skull Bash. So they throw a Skull Bash, their defense is boosted, so advantage to them. But they end up letting it go, and I was like, what is happening here? Because now they still need now they're in Surf range or Farm Down range. And then they try to catch on Escav, but now I got double Surfs here, plus I have a move on my Skarmory. So I remember back to back to snipe. I remember this combo play because I was like, what are they doing? Back combo, have a move, snipe, and now the Lapras is useless on their end. So I think they could have had a move to take me out and they would have had a pretty good situation, but yeah, don't know what I mean, stuff happens. Definitely have made plenty of mistakes. I think this is my 5-0 to veteran. I did not take out I put on my dust because I wanted that. It takes me a few catches to get and then 25-71. So jump 25-71. So that's a team. It's not the team I started with. The team I started with, I'm just going to play it because I've got a couple matchups here, is with Escav. Because my thought process when I started this team was like you're going to be weak to counter users in the back. And the best, so like Escav and Lucario. And the problem with Lucario and Skarmory is that like it's actually not a great matchup because they get to Shadow Ball very quick. Skarmory gets to Sky Attack pretty slow. And they're still landing like neutral moves here. Like this is exactly right. Like they're still landing like neutral counters on your Skarmory. So that is why I thought Escav would be better. And it did work. Like you're going to see a couple wins here. And it's a better answer to like Ferrothorn, right? So Ferrothorn has like Thunder. At least you're only taking neutral from it. And then it's just like a great answer that like if you're against like a Bomb of Snow, like everything's resisted there. So in theory, I think Escav is probably the smarter one. I just had way more success with Skarmory. And I think what it comes down to is the limitations. Not that Escav can get walled easier, but there's just so many more, I think, overall. Like you still sort of have the same weaknesses, right? You're still weak to fire overall. But I think with the difference between Escav and Skarmory is that Skarmory has a better matchup against Frostlass, which you see a lot. It has a better matchup against Whiscash, which is everywhere. It has a better matchup against Gliscor as the flyer, right? So I just found that like against a lot of the meta, it has a better matchup against Escav, right? In the mirror match. So if you're in a mirror match, you have to rely on your IVs as opposed to just dominating with Skarmory, right? So I just found that like between Skarmory's domination of those like 4, and there's maybe more that I can't think of off the top of my head, like that's what made it better. I think why I started with it was because of Lapras. Lapras was everywhere, and Skarmory doesn't have an amazing matchup against Lapras, but a counter user does, right? So that is why I started with it. But again, it's not just, I mean, I feel like Lapras is on like 60% of the teams now, but it's not just Lapras out there. It's all these other Pokemon that I see often. And I just found that overall, Skarmory did better. So that was my thought process. But yeah, you can like try other Pokemon in the spot. But yeah, this was my most successful one. So that is the team that I ran with. Tomorrow we will have top teams for Little Cup and top teams for Master League. I know I saw at least 1 or 2 battle submissions. I haven't actually looked at them yet. So if there's a battle submission that came in and I would like to showcase it, I will showcase it this afternoon because that is the last basically day, because tomorrow we will have those 2 videos for top teams and then we are playing Little Cup for a week. Yep, Little Cup and Open Master League. Thank you, Niantic, for that. That is really rough, but it is what it is. So a week of Little Cup. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button for a bunch of Little Cup teams if you want to play that. At least the battles will be fast, right? It's very easy to grind 5 sets in the Little Cup. For those of you who haven't, again, I'll go over this tomorrow in my video. If you've never played Little Cup before, shield everything. Like a resisted terrible move still does like 50%. It's everything hits so hard when you're 500 CP. So I will go over that tomorrow. So be sure to check that out. Appreciate the thumbs up and comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.